Hi, Financially Healthy here, all one word. And I am Marlene, but the name of my channel is Financially Healthy. Um, right now it's April 27th, 2020, and I'm talking to you during the coronavirus outbreak. But today's subject is, what is a recession? And are we in one, or is one coming? So, Um, there are certain things that tell us what a recession, and I'm going to go recession depression, but I mean a recession. A recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industry activities are reduced, and it's generally identified by a falling GDP, which stands for gross domestic product, for two consecutive quarters. A quarter would be 3 months, so two would be 6. And that's when you know you're in a recession. Okay, another question is, who decides whether or not you're in a recession? Well, the government looks at the domestic product, the GDP, and when it is in decline for those 2 quarters, which would be 6 months, that's when they call a recession. And a recession, it can last anywhere from 8 to 18 months, or it can even be longer. But usually longer than that, then it is considered a depression. But right now, a recession, 8 to 18 months, is usually the time period for that. And as I said, the government decides because they look at their numbers. They're the ones who do the gross domestic product, and they're the ones who then evaluate that. Um, what does a recession consist of? And first of all, it's the drop in the GDP, gross domestic product, for 2 quarters, which would be 6 months at least. And it the areas it also affects many areas of the economy. It could be higher unemployment, so your income. Um, it could be just employment in general, um, your lack of jobs, the inability to get jobs, the number of people out of work. Manufacturing, are plants working at full capacity, or are they hardly working at all? Have they done layoffs or furloughs or things like that? And retail sales. Are people feeling that they are out buying tennis shoes, t-shirts, outfits, also things like that, planning events, because services are also retail sales. Um, the the economy, when when a recession hits, the economy contracts, meaning that people, because of the lack of employment, possibly lack of income, stagnant wages, if wages at all, or if they're on some kind of benefit from the government, um, the consumer contracts their spending, meaning they become more tight-fisted with the fewer dollars that they have. So that means that's why factories aren't working. That's why retailers are going out of business, because people aren't buying new bathing suits or new tennis shoes or things like that. The consumer becomes very, very pick and choosy about what they can and cannot spend on. And this, the economy contracts, and also it goes back to the GDP, which would show the contraction, gross domestic product, and that would be for 2 consecutive quarters or 6 months. Um, what is the cause of recessions? It can be a number of things. This current recession that we're most likely going to experience, um, is because of the coronavirus. The economy had to be artificially shut down to stop the spread. And so, people who were waitresses, waiters, um, worked in car plants, things like that that required meat packing plants, close proximity, working. They're no longer working. Their facilities have been closed down, or they've been greatly reduced, or they've been spread out, so they're not producing as much, if any at all. And that's really something that you look at, and the consumer's confidence is way down. They are not, like I said, they become tight fisted and say, I cannot, the most responsible consumers do this. I cannot have all those subscriptions. I cannot even subscribe to my local paper because, say, that $120 needs to go towards lights, per year. If your local paper is $120, whatever your local paper costs, towards other things to keep my household running, food, um, energy that my home uses, things like that, laundry detergent, things like that. So demands of these products and services go down. No more going to movie theaters. You're staying in more and cooking in your home as opposed to eating out. Now, what caught this current one, as I said, is the coronavirus, most likely. But also, the economy goes in a cycle. And we've had great expansion, although wages have remained sluggish. So not everybody has, really reaped the benefit of a great economy. Although you will be told that numbers and numbers of times, but not everybody has reaped those benefits. And so that also explains why most people 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck, and 40% of people couldn't handle a $400 added expense. And now you're looking at people, 1 out of 4 right now are unemployed. And you are seeing them really struggle. I mean, emotionally, financially, it's very, very sad. Um, what are the signs of a recession? We have been in that economic expansion, as I said, but it has left many people behind. And until recently, um, that was the way it was. People were making it paycheck to paycheck. They were still going on vacations. They were still doing things. They were still purchasing things. So, um, the early signs of a recession is high unemployment and a drop off in orders and a decline in the stock market and a decline in interest rates and a rise in the bond rate. When the market's bad, the stock market's bad, then most people go to bonds because they're a safer bet. Um, when the market's down, bonds are usually where people put their money. Although you can also put it in the bank. And that's a good place for it too, because that is insured. There will be no runs on banks or things like that. Um, so we are experiencing right now a lot of these things. The lack of demand for services and products and things like that. And also we're tightening our belts. And the typical recession lasts 9 to 18 months. Anything over that usually is considered a depression. Um, the last recession was the Great Recession, which lasted from 2007 to 2009. That was mainly caused by the housing bubble and subprime loans, lending to people who couldn't afford those houses, but still were given them without much, if any, documentation on their ability to pay for them. This recession, the problem with recessions are that some people have not even recovered from the 2009 recession, and we're in 2020 right now. That's the thing. Recessions take a long time to recover from. You may have built up debt, things like that, and it just takes a long time to recover from. You just don't flip a switch and the economy comes back on and people are back where they were before the recession and everyone is financially healthy. The name of my channel is Financially Healthy and I'm Marlene. Please like, subscribe. I only have one subscriber and I have 20 some videos. Please watch my videos. I'm here to help you. I'm a single woman. I only have myself to count on. And I do okay. You know, I do okay. Yes. So there is the Great Depression had unemployment rate of 24.9 and that lasted almost 10 years. So let's hope the coronavirus is, if not cured, we get a vaccine for it. And we go about our daily activities without much concern or with a lot less. Emergent emergency health care, that's another expense that like put people back if you didn't have health insurance and you had to get emergency health care for anything, like even a broken bone, and say you were off work for such an amount of time or X amount of time. You have to remember there are so many unknown variables in this world that it is so important to have an emergency fund. And as you can see now, if you had that for even 3 months, that would get you to your unemployment. If you're unemployed, if you're currently working, that's great, you know. So let's all try to pull it together. There will most likely be a recession if we're not already in the start of one. And we will get through this because we have gotten through various recessions before. Okay, Financially Healthy here. That's the name of my channel. All one word, Financially Healthy. I am Marlene. Please like, subscribe, comment, share if you know someone who could use this. I guess my best advice is don't be afraid. Start working on cutting your expenses now. If you're still working, great. If you're waiting on unemployment, wait on it. And remember, we have to live below our means. Maybe plant a garden this year. You might have some extra time. And this also shows us how important it was to have like a side hustle, possibly rentals, little jobs you do on the side, cleaning, grass cutting, things like that. We'll learn a lot through this, but we will get through it. Financially Healthy is the name of my channel, all one word. And I am Marlene. That's not in my channel. And please like, subscribe. I'd like more than one subscribe. And watch my other videos. It's about saving money, making more money, what to do with your money, and how to survive when you have very little money also. It's also money saving tips. So please take care, stay well, stay sheltered in place for now, and we will get through this, and I'll talk to you again.